All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is April 18th. It is 6:31. Take a look at the disclosure, and then we will get to the 6:30 club. What up, everyone? Here I'm coming and getting official. Meanwhile, this is what I do every morning. You come in, put on a little 80s rock, blast through 40 charts, look at all the news out there. Actually, I started looking at the news, closer to 4:45 in the morning when I get up. I read some notes in the sauna, and then I get out. I do a nice rinse into the eye barrel. It was raining today, so it felt one with nature. And then I come in, go over a few things with you guys, and then I hang out with the Alpha team. So anyway, let me say hello to some of my dogs around the world. Let's see who's tuning in. We got It's in the house. Good morning from Richfield, Connecticut. We got Ike Santo, Northport, Long Island, waking up. Bill Myers, Ali Hassan. We got Don from Tennessee. We got Dakota in the house. No video. Uh-oh. Can you guys hear a video now? Tony, could you see a video? Let me see. My Florida friend who was a big educator back in the day. Morning, Tom. Morning, Buell. We got Massapequa in the house. Yeah, Long Island. I grew up in Syosset, Long Island. 1972, I was born. Somebody asked me, like, Red Dog, how old are you? I'm 51. What up? What up, Jamie? We got, all right, Sandra says we got some video, so let's get going. All right, so here we are. You take a look at this chart here. You look back, like, how could I have maneuvered this better? How could I have seen some of the action transpire and take place? And sometimes you look back and it makes it easier to learn. If you look here at the chart of the SPYs, I remember this day very, very well. Right here, this was last Friday. This was the day that they caught some of the active bulls by surprise, and that was your day to, really switch some gears and get out of loose active longs and maybe even get short. And since then, every rally up like today, this futures are up 16, has been rejected. I'm a much better buy in the red, play to go green, actively trade. Every time we open up, I'm always thinking they're gonna do one kind of squeeze and change it and work off the oversold condition, which hasn't happened. Maybe it happens today. We'll see. If you remember, Monday, we gapped up. I'm like, maybe you could sell 515, which is the prior high. And then yesterday, we gapped up. Maybe you could sell 506 to prior high. So now here we are again, gapping up. The SPYs are up $1.65 at 502.20. At some point, they're going to catch some of these sellers off guard, and squeeze a little bit, but it hasn't happened yet. But that's not the way a bottom happens. A short-term bottom usually happens when, the SPYs are either down 50 handles because something happened overnight that, you have an orderly sell-off, and then it's got to get like really disorderly for like an hour where people really get a little fearful and you hit an air pocket, and things friggin' accelerate, and then they reverse because they stopped out, the last dip buyers, and it gave people a way to cover, and then you reverse, and then you release some pressure. But anyway, here we are. So this is 502.20. This is 503. If the sellers want to reject price again today, this is your quick area, and then this would be your rubber match spot. Like if they decide to go with the oscillator from minus 70 where we are, we start getting oversold to minus 40. This would be more of a neutral area. But I truly would love to see 490 to 492. I don't know how it happens. It could be today, probably not. It could be Friday if people are worried about the weekend. But again, you have to have patience. If you have patience as a trader, you can pick spots. There are things to do. There are ways to make money every day. If you turn a great trade into a bad trade, or you go from one setup to another, or you don't have great prices, or you get too big, it's very easy to lose money. This market is not as forgiving as it was, and we have a lot of bent and broken names. Feels like we're headed to 490. Yeah, the sooner the better. But again, you had, we were at 515 on Monday, and now here we are at 502. That's the 130 handles, and the oscillator is minus 60, minus 65. So it's hard to short here, but just like the last few days, it's very choppy, and you have to pick and choose your spots. If you go to the tech sector, the Qs, if you guys remember, I showed you this candle. I'm like, what does this look like? Everyone's like, oh, a head and shoulders top. We haven't seen one break in a while. Well, we broke below the 437-ish neckline, if you remember. And at least, we all got out of the way probably on that Friday. And that Friday was definitely not easy. And now this gap is filled. So this is gone. Goodbye. So anyway, this low from yesterday is 424.90. And we'll see what happens here. Sometimes the best setup would be for today. What did I just say? 424. Is that my dyslexia kicking in? 424.90. So anyway, so opening up like this is kind of tricky. I'll be honest. It's kind of, it's a little bit of a pain because sometimes you want to short the open, but they push it for the first hour before they roll it over. But anyway, here's your 100-day also in the Qs. So it wouldn't be the worst thing if all of a sudden, we go from green to red, break below 424.90, and head down towards the 100-day. This is too close, probably. This is what's this? This is another gap to be filled. This is 421. So the best setup would be, for me, at least in my style, is all of a sudden, they open them up. They break yesterday's lows. You get one more bout of selling. You come into like right around this 421, bounces off, and you could buy Versat. You could add to it when it reclaims 424.90, and then you get some kind of oversold bounce back towards some broken levels, and here are some broken levels right there, which is like 429. But we'll see. Things don't seem to be happening, the way we all think it's easy, but life's not easy. Trading's not easy. The Qs are up $1.70 now, so to buy them up $1.70, for a little bit of an oversold bounce where it could be up 3 or 4, it's not the easiest setup. At least to me. Some of you guys are, hey, Red Dog, I'm shorting the open. It's worked every day this week. Shorting the open, letting it roll over, adding through a prior low, making my money. If that's you, congratulations. Just don't go back to the well one too many times after, the move that you've seen into an area like this. Sometimes it's better to say, hey, I'm going to get away from, the same thing that's happened every day, because usually it winds up changing at some point. So, the Qs and the SPYs, watch yesterday's low, map out some resistance, and we'll see if today changes, if they actually could push through and hold and squeeze a little bit to work off the oscillator. Again, everyone's, Red Dog, we're up 15, 17 handles again. That's true. I'd rather us down 25 handles. Much better setup, especially considering we have no low risk. I have almost no positions, which I've done for this week, and I'm just day trading because I'm in tactical mode. When you're below the 820 one day, you go in tactical mode. When you're above and things are healthy, you try and have 12, 15 positions that are making higher highs, and you can massage them with a great tier system. That hasn't happened for a while. It happened in the first quarter, not the second quarter. So we change. So anyway, I'm looking around the mega cap tech names, and nothing's really so awesome. You look at let's say Amazon, which was a great trade for us into last week even, and this looks like this accelerated trend is breaking a little bit. We got out, if you remember, above 189 with those options, and it was great. And I've even made a little tactical money here because I'm coming in flat. The other day was down 60 cents, buy it to go right to green, whatever. But now it's this closed below the 821 day. So if this doesn't get back above 182 fast, this could see the 50-day. Why not? If everything's breaking the 50-day, why can't even some of these leaders see the 50-day? So you have to be a little careful there. What's Amazon doing this morning? That's up 65 cents at 182. So it's coming right back into the prior low. So see if it pops back above. It would have been better if it would have opened here and then it can go there, but whatever. Google, same thing. Google, just choppy. Here is your Red Dog reversal top. Wide range bar lower, broke below there. Look at that, rallied back up to a prior low, got rejected. So that's the type of trade we're in right now. Let's see what Google's doing this morning. It's up 62 cents. Look at that, same thing. So you're not missing out on anything. It's just a day in the life of this new active sequence where we see where it's going. As of now, the S&P is down 4.4%. I think the small caps are down 20% from the highs there, and considered in a bear market. XLE just pulled into the prior high. A lot of the bank's strength was sold. not a lot of candidates here for, sitting in things as an active trader. It's the way it is. ARM, look at what ARM did yesterday. Wow, look at that break of this channel. So some guys probably did really well short here. Why not, right? You have a long pattern, you have a channel. Channels break to the upside, channels break to the downside, and ARM broke to the downside yesterday. Look at that, boom. All right, what's ARM doing this morning? Let's see if you're getting any downside follow through or not. It's up 50 cents. So what some people might do is, opens up 50 cents, runs out of gas, you short it, breaks this, and continues lower. But either way, this is your out. If you were trading ARM and your thought process, I was long it right here. I was my thought process. Look, you go here, I'm like, oh, look at this. We have a nice little channel here. It keeps going. Maybe it breaks to the upside. Got out right here. Much better. If you're a good short, that was your break. So there's always a way to look at yourself in the mirror or look at your trade and be objective and say, wow, this is wrong. Let me get the hell out of here. Yesterday, Tesla's in the toilet. It's been in the toilet since 12/28, since December 28th, when we had that bearish reversal. My Tesla is over. It's broken. Get away from it. Some people, I love Tesla. I love Elon. Okay. Well, you want to give them your money as an active trader and not get a paycheck in March and April because you keep buying it? That's another story. Anyway, like this is the day that I'm talking about. Look at this day right here. This was your day to say, hey, Tesla's over. Tesla had a nice rising channel. You even had a good little inverse head and shoulders pattern. This broke above a prior high. That's the red dog reversal sell. Broke below a prior low. That showed power and change. And then you had actually follow through the following 2 days. And then it was below the trend this entire time from 265 to February 5th or 6th, and then gave you another little inverted head and shoulders pattern, just like this one. This one lasted for a little bit of time and then broke right there. And now here it is. It is what it is. It went from, a technology innovation to a glorified car company where the EV sector is slowing down because you can't have friggin' winter. You can't be in your car in wintertime on a highway and all of a sudden it stalls because your battery froze. And anyway, so what's Tesla doing this morning? Let's see. Tesla is down another 260, actually below this spot. You go to the weekly chart for a bigger picture sometimes, and you'll see how the trend has been different. This was an awesome trend. I remember it well. It was my bread and butter, and then it turned into a high. Here was your 299 red dog reversal candle, another red dog reversal powerful candle, another lower high, and it's been trending down below the 8-day. Google the 8-day, 21-day Scott Redler, and it'll show you that you take your opinions off the table. You don't listen to the TV set. You don't listen to people on Twitter and listen to the 8 and 21 day. When a stock is below it, it's out of favor. There's no momentum. As an active trader, you don't have to be in it. You can even short it every time it gets there, and that's what has been going on here. And I haven't been. I'll tell you straight up. Kathy still's buying her. She bought ARK from 2021 to 2023, and she was able to handle it because she's a billionaire. Anyone who followed her blew up. I don't want to see you guys blow up. All right, so 152.37 is right here, the prior low. And then, here's 101 to there. So either way, good luck. I traded here and there, but if I had a penny for every time or a quarter for every time it told me to be buying, I should be buying Tesla today, I'd have a lot of quarters, but I'd be down a lot of money in my trading account because it's gone down, just like Baba. If I had a quarter for every time somebody said, hey, we got to buy Baba for a low or Baidu, I know, listen, there are some good memories in some of these names from prior years, but it doesn't mean they're ever going to come back the same way they were. Every now and then a stock is reborn and it starts a new active sequence. We saw that a year or two ago, obviously, with like Meta, it was below 100 and then it was awesome, and Netflix and even Amazon. But some names that, that aren't the same kind of quality or whatever never happened. But what about Microsoft? Microsoft, to me, it's a candidate for when we turn. But for now, Microsoft also looks faulty, right? Microsoft, look at this candle that happened in Microsoft. Broke above this area and closed below the prior low. This candle said, get the hell out of the way. It broke all the moving averages. So this candle said, as an active trader, you shouldn't be in it. And then it rallied back up and was rejected there. So you could have shorted a rally. Now this morning, it's probably up with the futures and could be choppy. It's up $1.26, 413. So, again, this trend is, changed where you have to short up opens and then just know where the level is, because if it pushes you a little bit more, it could be a bit painful. But anyway, this candle said this upper range is done. But I remember when this candle happened, all of a sudden it got engulfed, and then it was like, okay, it's just choppy, but nothing happened. This one happened, and then it followed its retracement rules and stayed in the bottom third or half. This one didn't, so that's why it needed more time. This one was rejected fast, and that's something different. As a trader, you have to measure something different, and now we'll see. What's it called? Apple. Wow, Apple has been really predatory on both sides. Apple had this 2-day move. Remember this 2-day move? This was when they said AI for Macs, and everyone thought it'd break down. And then on Friday, you had that red to green trade into resistance. And I'm like, it's either going to hold here or here. If it doesn't, then there's no commitment to this, right? Retracement rules. The only reason this would mean something is if you see commitment to it and it didn't happen. And now you look here at Apple, it's like, whoa, look at the weekly. This weekly still looks like, you got to be careful. Where all of a sudden you had this is the king and queens formation where you have a wide range igniting bar, gets everyone excited, makes everyone cover, cover, and then you get sandbagged. So now next time this breaks, you have 165 and 157, and that probably wouldn't be great, for the overall market. But we shall see. I've been very light with Apple for a while. Remember, this trend was awesome above the 8-day. Hey, what a coinky thing. Now it's below it. So you move on. Yes, Netflix earnings are after the close. I'm not in any options. I really just don't have any FOMO. I don't feel like, buying $10,000 worth of options and being wrong. It's hard to make money right now. So I don't need to do it. I might sit there at my desk, have all my estimates, have the subscriber growth, know what the market's looking for. And if it looks really super solid, maybe I'll play it after hours for a move above 640. But I kind of don't feel like, doing an option play. And, for now, I'll wait. Microsoft is still a power play, but it's more of, there's no power there. So a few times I've gotten out of Microsoft or I've gotten out of a power play, and then the market hangs in there. If you're in Microsoft as a power play, I'll get back to it. This is 640. It's just not, it's not the definition of we're not in a powerful market right now. If you've been in Microsoft for 20 years, congratulations. But anyway, 640 is the magic number. If Netflix is strong in their guidance and they guide up and they talk about margins and subscriber growth, then it gets above 640, and you could buy it, and maybe you get a pro earnings gap type strategy. But if it doesn't, it's come quite a long way, and it can go lower. So I'm not going to play it. I don't have any really FOMO on that. As far as TSM is down. It's off lows, down 2%. We'll look at the chart of TSM. I haven't really played this in a while. You had that that little red dog reversal up here, and now it's been in this range. I would say this 135-ish is important. It's trading right now at 135-ish. So I probably won't trade this. I'll watch it. If it goes from down 3 to green, chances are, Nvidia will, have a better trade. Nvidia has been very tough, but if you have your sell rules and you have your discipline, it hasn't been that tough, right? These were the best 2 days we've had in a while in Nvidia. If you remember, when I was on my way to Fox Business, you saw that crazy relative strength in Nvidia. I positioned into a lot and gave you day 2. Since then, it's been faulty, where here it got above 901, couldn't hold it. Remember that? That was Monday was friggin' very trappy. That was that was gross in my opinion. Got above, looked great in the first 20 minutes, then faded all day. And then you had an inside day on Tuesday. I took this home. I took a lot of shares home. Yesterday at this time, I was trimming some, because part of my process, I trim into strength, and then I see the composure in the first 30 minutes to see whether I want to buy more for continuation or that was it. And then this failed to hold. Remember, I'm like, it's got to get above and stay above 881. Well, it was pre-market, and then I got out of it when it went red. Another, failure here, and it closed in the dead lows. And, if you're shorted overnight, I'm not shorted because granted, like I said, I'm not a great short, but what's it doing? It's up 7. So if you're shorted overnight looking for follow through, you're not getting it. If you get out of it yesterday and you don't own it and it's up 7, who cares? You're not missing much. We'll see what happens today. If it was down and testing 830, it'd be a little bit of an easier trade. So now you would kind of move this down a little bit, because I think this low is more important than this one. This low yesterday was 839.50. So for today, we'll see what happens. I'm not going to short it, but I'm not going to chase it. It's just not a great setup. You know, if they bring the market in fast in the first 30 minutes and the SPYs go through yesterday's low and the Qs go through yesterday's low and this goes and stops and you see relative strength, this will be a great one to buy in that turn. But, you know, who knows what's going to happen today. If we open up and everyone tries to start fading the move in the first 15 minutes because it's worked the past 3 days and they can't go lower, they're going to probably catch the shorts. And then who knows, maybe today we get an oversold bounce from up, which it's just not an easy trade. What's the pro stand for? What do you mean, Dunks? Pro, P-R-O, like a pro athlete or a pro chef or I don't know, or a prima donna. I'm not a prima donna, but anyway, we'll see what happens. This is now resistance. If it were to, you know, to open up and go every time, you know, this would be a resistance area, 859. Overall, everyone's starting to point to a head and shoulders top here. I do remember this head and shoulders top that turned into one of my best trades. That was right here. Okay. Remember this head and shoulders pattern, and this it was a left shoulder, it was a head. Everyone, including Kramer, got bearish on his little pet Nvidia dog. And then it had a red dog reversal where it broke below, trap shorts came above and started a new move. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but that's the importance of get below and stay below to measure commitment to a break. Oh, pro earnings gap. Sorry. A pro earnings gap is like this. Here, this is a pro earnings gap. So this is when Nvidia came out with earnings. It gapped above the prior resistance, giving you a pro earnings gap. And then you could have been long versus low, and it turned into a big trade. So that is a pro earnings gap. A pro earnings gap that doesn't get filled lets you have parameters for a swing trade. So this is your pro earnings gap. So in Netflix, you'll see, does Netflix do a pro earnings gap and hold it above 640, you know, to start another move? Or does it give you a gap and then just fill it? Sometimes you get a big gap up after earnings and then it just trickles in and then you have no risk to be defined, right? So let me show you a pro earnings gap the other way. Look at JP Morgan. This was a pro earnings gap this way, all right, that never got filled. And then some people were able to make money short as it broke below. So this is a pro earnings gap the other way. That means pros sell, and then no one says it's on sale. It doesn't get filled, and it usually gives you a directional move there. So anyway, that's a great strategy post earnings, and as we enter earnings season, which we are, it's a good tactic to use to quantify your risk. Because sometimes you get a pro earnings gap and then it just dribbles. Like look at Dell here, for instance. Here was your pro earnings gap back on March 1st, and then it broke it, and then you had no idea what your risk was. And meanwhile, Dell looks pretty good comparatively to most other things. Low, higher, low, we'll see. So that's, I can't believe Dell rebuilt itself like that, kind of like Microsoft 15 years ago. But anyway, all right, it's 6:54. Let's take a quick look one more time. SPYs are up $1.50. The Qs are up $1.50. I did not put my blood in the street account to work. Okay, if you look here at the weekly chart, I do have one cash account that people ask me about. That's my wife's blood in the street account. She started working at UMD&J in 2004. She left in 2012. We no longer were able to put money in that as a retirement. If you have a 401k or a 403b, you put money every single month. Don't be cute. Do it every month and don't care about it. Okay, same thing. 529, my son's a freshman. It's fine. But if you have an account that you can't contribute to and can't get a monthly cost average, this turned into a blood in the street account that I put to work a lot of times, like 15 times since 2018, and that's sitting at an all-time high. And I love to put it to work, but I have to put it to work only when there's blood in the street. And 5% off the highs is not blood in the street anyway. It's just a dip. But we really haven't got a lot of those. So if I could put it in 4 tiers, I'll do so. So this is one level I'm looking at. I'd love to be able to put at least 25% of her account that's sitting in a fixed rider here. And then if we go lower, I add. But this is an account I don't get paid on for a living. I don't get paid in April on the blood in the street account, or quarterly or for the year. This is a longer term account that I'm building. She's 48, I'm 51, that hopefully, I manage it the right way, like a hedge fund almost. And it's worth a lot of money in our 60s so we could travel and have fun and boogie, boogie, boogie. Anyway, besides a 401k and everything else. So we'll see. This was an area I was targeting. If you look here on a different level, you could see, the 8-day broke And that was another clue this weekend. I came in the weekend after my run with Cadence, my doggy. I wasn't here on Friday because we had a lacrosse game. And I was like, you know what? Look at the 8-day. We've been above this 8-day since November. It's breaking. Be careful. No more swing trades. Trade tactically. Preserve your capital because you never know where a corrective phase new sequence goes. You just measure it along the way. And if you get out at the 8-day when the upper level breaks, you could test levels below, not be in pain, and maybe profit from it. Oh, Bobby, like the boogie, boogie, boogie. You're in Tampa now. We got Tampa Bobby. By the way, Bobby 4.0. That's awesome. You know why? Because he had a 1.0, a 2.0, a 3.0, and now he's on 4.0 because he's honest with himself that he needs to evolve. I'm on probably Red Dog 3.0, and I probably need to do another evolution of myself soon too. You do hard things. That's how you build your self-esteem. You challenge yourself and don't just do the path of least resistance. And that's how you build your confidence. That's what I'm trying to do with my son, Chase. I'm like, we're not always doing the easy things. You do the hard things. That's how your self-confidence builds. And that's how you can tackle any problem in front of you. And life's not always easy. Sometimes it's hard. So you need to take care of some hard things. Anyway, 492, 494, 479. We'll see what happens at this point. This trend is broken. We could see here, then we can go on a channel for a while. You don't know. So if you don't know, what do? You test levels and you figure it out. That's what we do as traders. And how do you do that? You get up early every day and put your process in place. Listen to some music. Don't fall for anyone's bullshit. Excuse my French. I don't turn the TV on until at least 9 o'clock. It's right now 6:58 in the morning. And I'm 8 minutes over. So I'm going to get yelled at from management because they say I gave away too much for free. But you know what? I love to help the greater good. And if you make money from this value added, chances are you can be coming spending the whole day on the Alpha Team, which is a place where a lot of traders trade all day long for a living and they give each other ideas and have some fun, which I'm going to go join them right now. I appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in.